Chapter 61. Guardian's Challenge. Date 33480, second quarter, Iron Confederacy borders. The spear came down. Demir's body froze, his brain screamed move, but his arms were too slow, too heavy. This is it, he thought bitterly. After all the forging, all the promises, all the talk of changing the world, I die to a backwater goblin scout party. Then the world blurred gray. A streak of fur silver under the morning light slammed into the goblin. The creature shrieked once before its body was reduced to torn meat. Demir stumbled back, blinking at the sudden violence. The goblin had been alive, a heartbeat ago. Now its spine lay bent in the wrong direction, blood spattering the roots of the trees. The wolf, the same giant beast from the goblin camp. Demir's heart hammered. He barely had time to draw his sword before another goblin lunged, distracted by its companion's screams. Instinct roared through him. The blade flashed crude but sharp, and in one desperate arc he hacked through the goblin's neck. Its head toppled, eyes still wide in confusion, as Demir stood locked in the pose of the swing, panting. The wolf didn't wait. It ripped the third goblin in half with a sound like wet cloth tearing. Then it licked the blood from its muzzle, spat it out, and gave a huff as if offended by the taste. One massive paw batted the carcass aside. Demir still hadn't moved. Sword-dripping shield, half-raised breath, shallow. His mind had broken into 100 shards, fear, awe, confusion, disbelief. The mutated beasts the goblins controlled scurried into the wood's tails between their legs. The wolf padded closer, dragging one goblin corpse with its teeth, then dropped it on top of another. With deliberate care, it stacked them like firewood. Then it sat back on its haunches and stared at Demir, amber eyes, glowing tongue lolling between sharp teeth. Like it's taunting me, Demir realized. He swallowed his throat, dry as sand.
Did I spook you with the sword?
His voice cracked. Slowly, he slid the weapon back into its sheath, his knees bent in a clumsy bow.
Thank you. Again, but I have to leave now.
The wolf barked once. Loud, sharp, a sound that rattled in Demir's chest. Dissatisfaction, almost a complaint. At first, Demir thought it was following him to finish the job. The beast padded silently behind him, its breath a hot gust on the back of his neck. He tried to ignore it, to keep walking east, like Marco had described eyes on the Broken Tooth Ridge. Every instinct screamed to run. But he knew running would be suicide. So he marched, pretended he wasn't shaking. Hours later, when hunger gnawed his stomach, he set a crude snare between two bushes and waited. A sparrow flitted close, curious. Demir held his breath, then yanked the rope. The bird squeaked, wings flapping desperately.
Gotcha. Dinner at least.
Snap. A branch cracked. He looked up. The wolf returned, dragging something enormous in its jaws. A boar tusk's gleaming body limp. It tossed the carcass to the ground with a thud, then sprawled beside it. When Demir plucked feathers from his sparrow, the wolf sank its teeth into the boar's belly, ripping it open with a wet crunch. The smell of blood and iron filled the air. Demir gagged.
Right, so that's how it's going to be.
By the next morning, he thought maybe the wolf had left. His fire was nothing but ash, his sparrow roasted down to a scrap. He walked for hours, ears ringing with silence. No paw steps, no shadow. Relief almost washed over him. Then he caught a hare in the underbrush. A rustle, a flash. The wolf returned, hauling a stag that must have weighed as much as 3 men. It dropped the kill in plain sight, ripped off a leg with a single crunch, and chewed while staring at him. Its eyes said everything. "Oh, you caught a rabbit? Adorable. Look at this." Demir's lips pressed into a tight line.
Very funny. Show off.
The wolf only licked its paw. By the second day, Demir was living in a state of comedic horror. He would gather mushrooms and the wolf would return, dragging a whole uprooted tree with beehives dripping honey. He would fish a single fish with bare hands from a thin river, and the wolf would stroll in with a much bigger fish.
All right. I get it. You're better than me. Stronger, faster, shinier. Congratulations, wolf. You win the survival contest. Now leave me alone.
He waved his arms at the creature. The beast only sneezed, spraying blood and dirt, and then stretched out for a nap where Demir could not miss it. At night, its growls kept other predators at bay. Demir should have been grateful. Instead, lying awake beside his dying fire, he whispered curses at it, every bone in his body tense with both comfort and terror. He was safe, but only as long as the wolf wanted him safe. On the morning of the third day, exhaustion clawed at him. His boots tore on stones, his back screamed under the weight of the ingots. Yet when he topped the final ridge, the sight below made him stop dead. The secluded valley. The jagged cliffs parted like gates and smoke curled skyward, thick and gray. The sound of hammer on anvil carried faint but steady ringing against the stone walls. For the first time in days, Demir felt something warm spread through his chest. Relief. Hope. Brovik, his master, his gruff, drunken, maddeningly patient teacher, still alive, still forging. Demir staggered down the slope, eyes locked on the rising smoke. The wolf padded after him, silent as always, amber eyes unblinking. He had made it back, and the forge awaited. Chapter 62, Masters and Spirits. Date, 33480, second quarter, Iron Confederacy. Demir was entering the small dwarven village. When he turned back, he saw the wolf disappear into the woods. Thank God, Demir thought. When he saw Brovik forging what appeared to be a metal watering can, Demir shouted,
"Now you're going to be a farmer, or is that for growing roses?"
"By the gods, Demir, you're back."
He looked behind him to see if Timmy and Sin Marco were there. Brovik crooked his eyebrows.
"You're alone. Where's the rest of ye?"
The passing dwarves called out,
"Oh, he's back. He didn't kill himself. Congrats, kid."
"Thank you. Without you, we'd all be dead."
he said to the resident dwarves, and he returned to his master.
"Master, let me catch my breath first. There's a giant wolf that wouldn't let me alone."
"What wolf? What are ye talking about? Where's the rest of ye?"
"Master, we defeated the goblins and I saved most of my friends, and sent them to another human settlement."
"By the mountain god, I was afraid for a moment. Good job, lad. Then, why are ye here?"
"Ouch. Can't I visit my master?"
"For a courtesy visit but you want something. What's that satchel? I can see from here the ingots are gonna rip it apart."
"I am hungry. What's for dinner?"
"Why are ye acting like my kid? Capture that old rooster and we can make something then."
"Fine, fine."
Demir returned to their old shack which Marco made. He placed his materials and went to capture the rooster. At that moment he heard distant howling of the wolf. At dinner, Brovik cooked the chicken to perfection and opened a new keg of beer. Demir was feeling the warm house buff and the food's invigorating effects to his bones.
"Spill the beans already. Ye here for another armor set. Ye learned it already. Don't ye have a fire at yer new place?"
"Not this good. Anyway, I tried to forge a sword as good as my armor, but made this crap."
Demir unsheathed the sword to give Brovik.
"Don't be hard on yourself. It's not the same profession. Let me look. Oh, indeed, it's a crap."
"Can you teach me sword making, shield making?"
"Shield. I can, but swords, another story. I did make swords back when I was an apprentice, but later I focused on armors."
"Who can teach me then?"
Old man Dornek was a legendary sword maker, but he's too old now.
"Does it hurt to ask? I swear I will do all the heavy lifting."
"Sleep now. We'll go asking tomorrow."
Demir left for his shack. Another master meant a new dwarf to convince. I have to master this. Otherwise, there's no way to safely travel higher zones and form alliance with high levelers. Date 3337 OI. Second quarter, Chalice Theocracy. The basement of Ivory Gate Academy always smelled faintly of soap ash and boiled cabbage. The silent workers, thin figures in gray linen, shuffled along the corridors without raising their eyes, hauling laundry or trays of food. Aris slipped past them with Fox padding at his heels. Unseen heroes, he thought. They washed every robe, scrubbed every plate, and carried every burden. Yet none of the students even noticed them. At the far corner lay the sectioned-off alchemy rooms. Rumors clung to this place like mildew. One boy had supposedly died here months ago, smoked out by his own concoction. The academy never encouraged students to brew potions, but neither did they forbid it. As long as it didn't interfere with the trials, nobody asked questions. Lyra had pressed a key into his palm the night before.
If you're going to survive longer than a week, start making things to help yourself. But don't get caught.
Now Aris slid the key into the lock, and the heavy oak door creaked open. Inside the room was cramped but purposeful. 3 soot-stained cauldrons sat in iron cradles, each one with a pipe leading up to a vent in the ceiling. The walls were lined with drying racks, bunches of herbs hanging upside down like strange trophies. The air smelled of dust honey and burnt wood. Fox sniffed around and sneezed.
That corner smells of dried herbs, probably where your dead kid set up.
Aris walked to the table, laying down his fresh bundle of honey root.
Some say he suffocated on fumes. But look,
He pointed to the vents.
all 3 chimneys are wide open to the sky. If he died, maybe it wasn't an accident.
Or maybe he brewed something so foul it cooked his insides.
Aris grinned, hunching his shoulders and puffing himself up.
Or maybe he made a golem.
He stomped toward Fox, arms out like claws. Fox yipped, backpedaling, then glared.
Not funny.
Little funny. Fine, let's work.
He tied the honey root stalks over one of the cauldrons, letting the heat from its oven dry them faster. The firewood crackled as he lit it, the smell of smoke creeping into the chamber. Chapter 63. Forging Bonds. Date: 3030. Second quarter. Iron Confederacy. Demir woke up to Bravik hitting the door.
Get up, ye lazy human. Sun's up already. You've been slacking. That's why you couldn't make a decent weapon.
Demir got up and opened the door.
Master, I was fighting spying all week. Let me rest a little.
Hell no. Dernak hates slackers. Well, not now, but back before he retired. Get your shit, let's go.
It's too early. He would be cranky.
He's already drinking his morning tea. Old folk like to sleep at noon. Get up.
Demir picked up his satchel and went to old Dernak's house. Demir had never spoken to the unofficial leader of the town, but he'd seen his fiery, unwelcoming eyes defending his town from scout goblins when they'd been looking for Demir and his friends. When they arrived, Dernak was on the porch, drinking tea with a sandwich, watching the woods.
What is it, Bravik? Why did ye come with your pet human?
He pointed to the woods.
Lay that.
He tried to get up, but gave up halfway.
Who is it?
Spirit of the woods has blessed us with her presence. I heard her howling all night.
Brovik turned to Demir.
Is it the giant wolf you were going on about?
It's after me. It wouldn't leave my side one day. Followed me here.
Don't lie, lad. Ye wouldn't last a second against the spirit of the woods. Anyway, what do you want?
Bravik gulped. Even Bravik was nervous against this man, Demir thought. I shouldn't say anything or I'll mess my chances, he mumbled to himself.
As you know, the boy is my apprentice, and he's progressed well making decent armor. But
he needs weapons. Always with something, these humans.
He returned to Demir.
Even if I wanted to. I'm near 300 years old. I can't make anything good. I didn't make anything good the last 20 years. Go to the city. There are lots of young masters you can buy from.
that's the thing. He wants to learn forging weapons, and he says he'll work like a mule. He'll do all the things, just teach him important stuff. He may have a hard head, but when it comes to swinging, he's good. Well, almost good.
Brovik patted Demir's back.
I'm too old, too tired for all this. You can't learn my 200-year mastery in a week. Go to your friends. Go to your family.
Sir, I mean Master Dernak. I don't need to make the best sword, but I just need to learn how to make good stuff. I tried on my own, but it didn't turn out good. Also, I don't want to waste these either.
Demir opened up the satchel and picked out a couple ingots with different glows.
I don't even know what they are.
The faint brown ingot opened Dernak's eyes.
Where did you get this?
We raided a goblin camp 3 days east. I got it from there.
This is orichalcum ingot, in near-perfect purity, worth at least 1,000 gold. Goblins can't make these. It requires hard and meticulous processes only the best dwarven forge master knows. Tell the truth.
I am telling the truth.
And this is viper leather. This is.
He went on, puzzled by the quality ingots and leathers.
Tell me the truth, lad. Which dwarven merchant did ye raid? By the looks of it, pretty high up on the ladder.
Dornak, the lad, doesn't lie. If he says he took it from the goblins, believe him.
Well, there's one thing. When we were scouting, there were dwarven delegates. One looked very rich, and they were offloading carts of goods and discussing politics.
Demir explained what he'd heard from spying on the dwarves and goblins.
You're saying we're giving our most precious ingredients to burrow dwellers?
I mean, you're giving pretty bad equipment. Maybe they kind of know how important these are and demand them for their chiefs. Or they robbed and killed the merchants. You can expect anything from them. He was already plotting to take down his high chief.
With that prince as our head, if they guarantee his re-election, he'll give his missus to those creatures. Look, lad, these are pretty important ingredients. I'll not pick 'em from your hands, but if you try anything, you'll be wasting it. But I'm in no mood to teach you.
Elder Durnak, I never learned from ye, but I always heard your crafts at the hands of our generals and legendary warriors. Our high city in what the players call high zones is standing still thanks to your legendary crafts. This lad is worth the work, not because he's a genius, but because he keeps his promise.
Durnak was listening with half contempt. Bravik continued,
He promised 10,000 swings, put his hand on the line, and delivered without stopping once. When scouts came to seek him and his friends, he promised to take 'em out before they harass again. And ye know they were gonna sit there and harass us. He took every one of them. And finally, and most importantly, he promised to get his friends from slavery. He delivered. All his friends are in a safe town. He could have stayed there, took a woman, and waited to die, but he's here to learn. Ye're our elder. Be his for my sake.
Brovik's eyes watered, but Demir was already crying. Demir hugged his short master.
What did I do to deserve a master like you?
Ah, shut up, ye watery eyes.
Durnak was still looking at the woods. Suddenly, a giant gray wolf appeared with a dead boar in its mouth. Durnak completed his jump from the chair for the first time.
Asena! She came to visit us.
The giant wolf walked beside Demir and dropped the boar and pushed Demir with its giant paw-like, saying, "Look what I got. What do you have?"
Not now. I am in the middle of an important meeting. Please.
The wolf bit the boar and took off, throwing a fit. Durnak was puzzled. Demir returned to the woods.
I told you you're better than me. Stop bothering me. You spooked the masters.
Durnak punched Demir's shoulders.
Lad, stop shouting at the wood spirit. That's Asena you're shouting at. She'll kill us all in a second. How do ye know her?
The goblin camp where I got this loot, the chief enslaved her, right? You said Asena?
It's like a title we're given. Mother spirit of our woods. We call them Asena.
Demir thought they were probably saying region boss, a woods spirit.
Fine, I'll teach. If even Asena is blessing ye with her challenges, I will try as well. We'll start with first steel. We may never reach Orichalcum level, but we'll try.
Date 338A, second quarter. Chalice Theocracy. Aris spread his notes on the table. Lyra had helped him copy recipes from dusty scrolls, stamina tonic, honey root, and rye seeds. Minor defense draft, stonebark. Shavings, mud root, and goat milk. Minor agility elixir, swiftgrass wild honey, and dewdrop resin. It seemed straightforward. 2 or 3 herbs boiled together, strained, cooled. But Realmforge's invisible hand still played tricks. A written recipe did not mean guaranteed success.
Why do I have a 20% chance of success if I know the recipe? It's ridiculous.
He muttered as he ground honey root with a pestle. Fox hopped onto a stool.
Because it's not you, it's the system. Same reason you couldn't manifest a shield for weeks even though you memorized every gesture.
He flicked his tail.
This world runs on dice rolls. Accept it. I did.
Fair enough.
He added rye seeds, poured spring water, and set the first cauldron bubbling. The smell of honey filled the air, then turned acrid. Smoke fumed up the vent. The mixture curdled into black sludge.
Double time, so.
He sighed, dumping it out. Second attempt, too much heat. The tonic boiled over, leaving sticky resin on the stones. Third attempt, too much rye seed. The mixture hardened into a lump before he could pour it.
That's 3 failures.
He groaned, wiping sweat from his brow.
Maybe the kid before you failed 10 times before dying. Don't end up like him.
Aris made another batch. He ground honey root with practiced rhythm. He measured rye seeds more carefully, this time counting them out like dice. Spring water bubbled gently in the cauldron. He stirred clockwise, slowly letting the scent grow warm but not acrid. Seeing nothing out of order, no changing colors, he left it for cooling.
Tomorrow's an off day. I'll come back with the other ingredients.
Aris went back to sleep, and in the morning went to the gardens again for ingredient hunting. Chapter 64, Questions and Answers. Date, 33480, second quarter, Chalice Theocracy. The Academy Forest bordered the rear gardens, a semi-wild stretch of green used for botany lessons and low-level herb gathering. The morning was cool birdsong, thin above the mist. Fox trotted beside Aris as he picked through the undergrowth, searching for the right herbs. Swiftgrass, long blades with a faint golden sheen at the tips. He spotted a cluster near a brook, slicing carefully with his knife. Wild honey, not from jars but from hives hidden in hollow trees. He smoked one out with a smoldering branch, scraping a thick comb into a clay jar while bees buzzed angrily around him. Dewdrop resin, glistening beads on the bark of moonwillow trees. He collected them, carefully, sticky fingers gluing together. Stone-bark shavings, tough gray bark from the Academy's ancient wall trees hacked with effort into his satchel. Mudroot, gnarled, damp-smelling roots pulled from the marshy edge of the pond. His boots sank ankle-deep, and Fox yelped when mud splashed his fur. By noon, Aris's satchel bulged. He returned to the alchemy chamber, hanging bundles to dry above the cauldrons. The room filled with the smell of fresh herbs, sharp, bittersweet. When they looked at the fourth attempt sitting in the corner,
Looks less like swamp water.
Good sign.
he said, pouring the mixture through a sieve into a glass vial. The liquid glowed faintly gold. His heart jumped. He corked it quickly. He bottled 4 vials.
Even at 20%, it's actually a good ratio, but it eats too much ingredient. Well, maybe if I move forward with the title, it gets easier.
By evening, Aris had 4 neatly corked vials of stamina tonic lined on the table, golden like sunlight trapped in glass. He sat heavily on a stool, wiping sweat from his forehead.
4 from a small cauldron. Not terrible. Wait, I can make even smaller batches for guaranteed success.
Not terrible for someone who thought mixing herbs would be easier than casting magic.
Aris smiled, faintly holding one vial up to the light.
Still, it's mine, my work. And next time we're crawling in a dungeon, maybe it'll be the difference between life and death.
The basement vents sighed as night fell, carrying smoke and the faint, sweet scent of honeyroot up into the cold chalice air. He left the basement to return to his dorm. While passing corridors, he was stopped by an unfamiliar Chalice Templar. The Templar was wearing heavy armor, unlike the casual dress of the Academy teacher Templars. He had a gold and red sash going sideways from shoulder to his hip. He stopped Aris.
Aris, is it?
Yeah, who are you?
I am Crusader of the Chalice, humble servant of the High Priest. Name is Kurgodan. Mind if I ask a couple questions? Your headmaster gave permission for investigation.
The Crusader was intimidating in every step, his armor gleaming even in the dim corridor light, his posture radiating authority and menace. Investigation, Aris thought. Oh, am I in trouble? He gulped. Crusader should be one above the Templar title, Aris thought.
Sure, sir. Crusader, Sir Kurgodan.
No need to be nervous. I am just making sure everyone is keeping their mouth where it's supposed to be. What is your relation with library worker Lyra?
The question was straightforward and gave him no time to hide his emotions.
What relation? She works there and...
He is a geek. He likes to study. Memorized almost everything.
Yeah, she is just there when I work.
Did you see anything out of the ordinary that she made?
She was gone like a month. They say she had a lover and had a kid.
Fox said, spewing so much made-up nonsense that it took away Aris's tenseness. It almost made Aris laugh.
No, sir, other than her wacky inventions like the railed ladder, I didn't see anything unusual.
Kurgodan sighed.
Okay, kid. Keep an open eye, and if you notice anything, tell one of your Templar teachers. They will find me. Good night.
With that, he left and made Aris and Fox breathless.